everyone, this is Michelle Galnett with Past and Present Presents. Today I'm going to be showing you how to put together your very own bee kit. Now this is the UITC small board. You can find them pretty much anywhere. I am going to be using all 4 rows. I'm going to be using 5.5 inch 18-pound zip ties, and all you have to do is you just pop it through the holes in the back. This is how I do it. You can do it however is easier for you. You just pop them through the front. Okay, and you're going to do this all 4 rows. Now you just take your zip ties, you connect them, and you're going to put them to where you can just hear that little zip. You're not going to close them all the way because of course we have to put our mesh inside of them. So I'm going to show you these 4. I'm going to finish the board and come back. Okay, so now I'm back and I have all 4 rows filled with my zip ties. I also put my hanging twine on here. All you have to do is cut a piece of twine, maybe about, I would say about 10 inches, fold it in half, put it through the hole, put it through the designated holes. Tie it off, and you can always adjust your heights. I like to do a little bit, since I know what petal I'm using on the outside row, I like to use a little bit of a longer petal to give it more of a hang, but you can always make it shorter, you can make it longer depending on your outside petal. You really don't want your hanging twine to show when you're either yourself or your client is hanging their wreath. So now the first petal we are going to do, we're going to do a couple of different petals on this particular wreath. We are going to do the ruffle petal on the outside. Now what I have here is I have 16 pieces of, this is called border mesh. This is a yellow and black, as you can see, yellow and black border mesh. Now the border mesh comes in 10 by 10, 10.5 by 10 yards. So what you're going to do, and these are heat sealed, what you are going to do is you are going to, when you heat seal your edges, you're going to cut them 10.5 inches. You're not going to do your 10.5 by 10 just because we want an even petal. So now you're going to need 16 for the outside. Now seeing as I want the stripes to be on the outside of my wreath, I'm going to turn it sideways. Okay, turn it sideways. And you're going to have the curl side down. So turn it sideways, and all you're going to do is you're going to find your center. And I like working on my mat. This way I always know my measurements. So all you're going to do is you're just going to crumple it up the middle. Okay, and you're going to get like a little bit of a bow tie. Now you can put this in without closing your zip ties, but that is not the process that we're going to do today, that I'm going to show you how to do for this kit. This one, you're going to just take your bow tie and you're just going to turn it over just a little bit. This way you get that little loop in the center. Okay, and you can always adjust them when you put them in. So it's going to look pretty much like a clover. Okay, you're not going to have very much of a tip when you put into your zip tie. So you're going to put maybe about an inch. You're going to have about an inch. And you're going to close up your zip tie. And just trim it off. Okay, now I'll show you that about 3 or 4 more times. Oop, I just almost put it in my candle. That would have been a bad thing. So same thing. You have your mesh this way. You're going to turn it sideways. You can even put something down here to help you hold it down. And you're just going to go straight up that middle. And all of this mesh has been heat sealed. So you're just going to keep going, put it right on top. Now when you are putting them into your zip tie, you're going to want to keep going in the same direction. We don't want to have them on top of each other. No, we want them on top of each other. We don't want them have to go rogue and then one's on top of this one, the one's on top of that one. We want them all going in the same direction. Okay, so I do one more. I'll do one more of these and then I will finish it up and continue to the next row. So same thing, you're going to turn your mesh sideways and go straight up the middle. Push it in a little bit. Or even if you want a more polished look, you can put them directly on top of each other. I like that little ruffle it gives. If you don't have enough mesh, you can get away with doing every other. But this way it makes it look more full. Or fuller, I should say. Okay, so this is what your petals are going to look like. And of course you can adjust them to your liking. Okay, so I'm going to finish this entire row 1 up and then I shall return. Okay guys, so this is what your outside of your wreath is going to look like once you are done. Look how pretty and whimsy that is. I love it. That's why I love border mesh. So next we are going to do row 2. And row 2 you need 8 petals. For the outside row we did 16 petals. That's all you would need for your border mesh. Now the inside row 2 we are going to do black poly burlap. Now this is also all of the meshes that I am doing today have been heat sealed. I use my wood burner, which is this little tool. And we're going to get started on that row now. Okay, so next for row 2, what you are going to need is 8 black petals. These are cut 10 by 10s. So you're going to take your factory edge. You have your factory edge. These are your sealed sides. Now, this is my left. This is my right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it in a diamond shape. Factory sealed edge down to my left, factory sealed edge up to my right. All you're going to do excuse me, is go from your corner to corner. Okay, now what I like to do is I like to keep my hands resting. Once you get this piece resting on top of it, this way your mesh doesn't curve up on you. So you just keep scrunching it up the center of your diamond. Now same thing, you have another bow tie. You're doing the same exact way that you would have done for your ruffle petal. Now these ones, you want to make sure that the tips, each one of your tips are even. Same thing, you're gonna make about an inch. And then you are going to add it into your zip tie. Now, the reason why I chose this Dean Michael sunflower petal is because it adds a little bit of whimsy to the outside petal, and it looks, to me, kind of looks like wings. So we're gonna push this in a little bit further. We're gonna try to keep it to where the 3rd row is. That's what I normally like to do those ones on, but if you like a different look, go for it. Okay, then you can always adjust it. You always want your petals to go out. This way it's not curving up. You have some curved up, some curved down. So same thing. Either way you do it, just make sure your factory edge is on the left bottom side and your top right side. And the same with the ruffle, you are going to do them in the same direction. Anytime you do a wreath, it's always a good thing to do it in the same direction. This way your factory edges are all going the same way. Because if you have 4 going one way, then you have 2 going the other way, it's going to distract the eye. Okay. Now when you are done closing your zip tie, see how these ones just came out like a really like a bunny ear? You can always adjust these. Now, the least amount of time that you give to your petals, the least amount of fray you will see. Okay, so let's do that one. Let me see. Let's try because this is going to be the next one, but I want to see how black and yellow, how that would look good next to each other, if we should do that instead. So see, you got these, you can just play around with them. Same thing. Now I'm just gonna add it to the, take it out of this one. Just want to, well, let's, you know what, let's just put it on top. Nope, I don't know. Nope, I think we're gonna stick with the black for that row. Just because, as you can tell, the 2 yellows are 2 different ones. This one has more of a golden tone, this one's a bright yellow. But the golden tones will be bringing out the bee in the that we have for this kit. So let's continue with the black. So then you will need 8 black pieces for your row 3. Okay, now you're going to just keep going around. And I will come back when this whole entire row is done. Okay, so we are back with row 3 entirely done in black. So this is how your row 1 and row 2, yeah, why am I calling it row 3? I'm sorry. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. This is row 2 is done entirely in the black. Row 1 we did the border mesh. So next, row 3, what you're going to need is 4 of the black poly burlap sealed and 4 of your yellow poly burlap sealed. So we're going to start with the yellow. Same thing as you did on row 2. Turn your piece diagonal. Flip it up. Make sure your tips are even. And then just put it into the zip tie. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So see the the contrast that you have from these, and it's gonna blend it all together. Because if you just did the next row, row 3, in all of the yellow, it's gonna take away from the border mesh, and we don't want that, because the border mesh, we want that to be like a little sneak attack back there. So we'll do yellow and black. And I'll do 2 more. Then I'll come back when it's all done. So we need a yellow. Same thing, we're putting in the poly pretty much maybe about 1/4 of an inch from the zip tie. And we'll adjust them as we go. Now the reason why I seal the poly burlap, as some of you may know, some of you may not know, is because this poly burlap, it frays like mad. So you don't want the fray on your wreath. So when I use my wood burner, I have my fan going, and I also have my mask on, because you do not want to breathe those fumes in. You can even do this outside, which I wanted to in the backyard today, but it is pouring raining. So that's not happening. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to just finish this up, and I shall see you for row number 4. Okay, so this is how your row 3 is going to look. As you can see, you got your little border stripe peeking out. Then you have your 8 of the black. Then you have the black and yellow and every other. So next we're going to add the last of our mesh, which is going to be our window pane mesh. Look how gorgeous this is. So as you can tell, I added a little bit of different patterns to this. I did the stripes, I did the solids, and now this is the window pane. So same thing as before, you're going to have your factory edges sealed on the sides, your factory edges on the top, the bottom, and the top, your sealed sides on the left and the right, and then you're going to turn it into a diamond. Same process as the black poly burlap, and same process as the yellow poly burlap. You're just going to take it and go corner to corner once again, and you're going to keep your hand down. This way these don't curve up. Now there's less mesh on here, so it will curve up. As you can see from that side right there, it's doing that, but I'm keeping my hand down because we don't want it to do it all the way. So same thing you're going to do. You're going to take your little bow tie and you're going to curve it over. And you're going to have your little ears. Look how pretty that is already. Oh my gosh, I just love that. And then you're going to just add them into your last row. Oh, look how, oh, I love that. Put them away. Okay. So you're just going to add them. So you only need 4 of your window pane. So this is kind of good for leftover mesh if you have any leftover. This is a good design for that as well. Because you don't have to just do a bee wreath. You can do this, the ruffles, the sunflower, and the window pane in any colors. 2 more. I'm stabbing myself a little bit. Same thing as row 4. You want to keep going in the same direction. Last petal. This one on top of this one, and this one on top of this one. All right. Oh, look how cute. Okay, so this is what your, let me find the hanging, there. Okay, so this is what it will look like. Oh, that's cute. Without your center, but we're gonna add your center right now. Okay. Now this is going to be our little bee. Well, it's not little, but look how gorgeous she is. She's so adorable. Her little antennas. So cute. Let's make her a little bit bigger. Aren't they cute? Okay, so we got a little hole in the back. And we're just going to use a piece of pipe cleaner. Just tie it on there. Now when I add attachments to these boards, I like to go across from each other. And what I mean by that is if I go, you see how you have the 2 holes here and the 2 holes here? I like to go across from each other. Okay. Make sure I'm going to just stand up for this. This my hole, so I'm going to make sure that's up there. Okay. Stop flapping. Okay. Just pull her through. Now before you'll want to adjust her before you put your final twists on. Now what I do is when I am tightening my pipe cleaners on these boards, I go to either whichever hole and I tighten on top of the hole. Okay. And I don't cut these just yet. Just because through the process, if anything gets messed up, I want to be able to adjust her. So this is how it's going to look when you add your bee. Oh, look how stinking cute. Now, you can keep it like this. You can just keep it like this. But we are going to add some ribbons. Look how stinking sweet. We're going to add some ribbons now. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add our ribbon tails. So what you're going to do, and you can do this, you can take your bee off if you don't want it to get squashed. It's not really, it's what is it called? It's a plush, because it's got all the stuff inside of it. So you're going to do is you're going to put your, flip your wreath over. And this could be a step that you can do as well when you finish putting in your row 1. You can then add your pipe cleaners. But what I want to do is, because I don't want it to be like a perfect even match, because nothing on this wreath is perfect. So what I'm doing is I'm going down from the ends, from the center of the board. So I am going to put one petal here, one set of my ribbon tails here. I'm going to go opposite, put another one, just follow the line, go opposite, put my pipe cleaner in, because seeing as there's 16 on the outside, then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to put another one here. And we're only going to put 4 ribbon tails in, just because I don't want it to take away from the bee, and I also don't want it to take it away from the mesh. So we're just going to go straight across here as well. 1, 2, 3. And push our pipe cleaners down. Now you don't want to push them all the way through, because you don't know if you're going to be poking through another piece of mesh or whatnot. So we'll just flip it over. I already put one in there, so let's, don't want to show you my ribbons yet. Okay, so where are we? Okay, so we're right here. And all you're going to do is you're going to search right through. You're going to pull your pipe cleaners through, and you're going to tighten it. You're going to do it maybe 3 or 4 times, because you want a nice, you want it on there. You want it nice and tight, okay? So next, we're going to go to our next one. And like I said, you can do this in a different, you can do this earlier on. This way you're not fighting with your mesh. Okay. Pull them through. Make sure that they're even. You always want even pipe cleaners. Okay, so we got that one, and we'll work on our last one. Now this bee came from Rosemary Bird LaRue. I have her make a lot of designs for me. She is an absolute genius. As of making this video today, she does not have a Facebook page, Facebook business page, but she is working on it. So if you want any her to create anything for you, I suggest you give her a buzz. Get it? Buzz. Her name is Rosemary Bird LaRue. Now we have our pipe cleaners in. Next we're going to do is we're going to set our ribbons. So this is a ribbon. This is a 2.5. I cut them 14 inches long. I tried it with the 12-inch. I didn't like it. Didn't stick out enough from the sides. Next is our white, just a plain white canvas ribbon. Now I'm doing this, I'm going to layer them in the center, just because I want that look for when I am at the end, when I have to pull them apart. And then look how fun this one is. This one's like a little fuzzy, kind of like the little fuzz on the outside of the bee one. So the white and the yellow, the solids, are both 1.5, as you can tell. So we're just going to take our center. Like I said, you can always line it up. Take your center. And just like that, you're going to make another bow tie, just like you did with the sunflower petal, just like you did it with the ruffle petal. And this one, we're going to do a tight twist down. Not a tight twist, I'm sorry. A tight pull down. You're going to do it just like that. And you're going to adhere it to your pipe cleaner. So I will show you that. Try to pull this back a little bit. So there we go. I'm going to open it just a tidge. You can always leave your finger in there. Push your pipe cleaner through. Now I like to push it all the way down. This way my ribbons aren't moving. you're just going to give it a twist. 1, 2, 3. Now I do 4 twists just because I like the way that it gives it more of a, it makes it tighter. So, okay. You're just going to do that just like that for now. And then we will adjust our ribbons when we're through with all of them. Okay, so we're going to do our bee one. Now this one, since the bees are going any kind of way, it doesn't matter if you do it this way, it doesn't matter which way you do it. So we're going to keep the same pattern. Nope, we're not going to keep the same pattern. We're going to do the yellow and then the whites. No, let's keep the same pattern. Let's not throw our wreath off. Just because we don't want the white to be highlighted. We want the white to just bring out the little bees in the... Okay. Same thing for your ribbons. I'll move this over so you can see more of it. And you're just going to do the same exact thing. Put it on one end of your pipe cleaner. Push it down till it's down on top of the other piece of mesh. And you are going to twist. And you're going to want it to be a tight twist because you don't want your ribbons flopping all over the place. Okay. Guess we'll fix that when we get there. So we got the whites. And these are cut, like I said, 14 inches. I tried the 12. I did not like it. Oh, did I not cut this one? Yes. Oh, it's a little short one. I'll cut it too stubby. Okay. Scrunch up the middle. And then same thing with the sunflower petals. You want to just make sure that your edges are even. Now, if you're doing your own design, you can always add more ribbons. But this is just the design that I came up with, that I am going to be offering with my kit. Okay. And the reason why I chose this yellow was because it brings out the border yellow, since the poly burlap is more of a golden tone. So same thing. You're going to just attach it to your pipe cleaner. Push it down. Pull it tight. Okay. Now, I'm not going to touch the edges of the pipe cleaner until we're totally done. I'm going to cut those off. Normally, I curl them, but seeing as we have a petal that's on top of them, we don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to zoom you out a little bit more so you can see me adjust the petals. I just don't want my phone to fall. Okay, let's move this stuff, get it out of the way. Okay, so we're just going to take our petals and we're just going to start from the inside of the pipe cleaner and we're just going to curl them. Okay, and we're going to open them up. Oh, wrong way. We're going to open them up, this way it shows everything. Now, you can pull on these bad boys because they really don't, you're really not going to hurt them. And especially if you have them in there nice and tight. Oh, you can't even see what I'm doing. So we're just going to open them. Open and curl. Now I'm doing opposite, which means that this side I'm opening, I'm doing white, then yellow, then this, then the bee, then the white, then the yellow. So same thing here, bee. Now you can do it as whatever you'd like. I'm doing bee, white, then yellow. And bee, white, and yellow. And the reason why I'm doing this is I don't want the ribbons to bunch together and you'll have like the white with the white. We want to make it look, we want them to have their own kind of color and feel. Okay, did I skip? Oh, I gotta do this one. Okay, so we have bee, white, yellow, bee, white, yellow. Okay, now we're just gonna adjust our sunflower petals. Oh no, don't adjust them yet. Let's cut off our pipe cleaners. You can leave them on if you like. There's really no need because you're not adding anything else to this. Then you adjust your petals. Now it doesn't matter. I leave a little bit of a head on these just so in case you want to adjust, if you need to adjust anything, you give yourself a little bit of wiggle room. Oh, she's adorable. Okay. So next, I'm going to get her hung up. And I will show you how she is all finished. Okay guys, so that is it all done up. Look how gorgeous. Zoom you in a little bit. This way you can see all the little different details. See your ribbons. Gorgeous bee made by Rosemary Bird LaRue. Alright, and that is all that I have for you in this bee starter kit tutorial.